It's January 18th, 2022. How did we get here so fast?
Dude,
I haven't seen you in a month.
Mm-hmm. I've been in my own little quarantine.
Your little quarantine bubble.
My pre-quarantine quarantine.
Yeah. It was like, hey, let's take a couple weeks off.
Yeah.
And then you were like,
I'm going to keep on.
I'm going to keep away.
Yeah.
And then we all got sick.
Yeah.
Like everybody else. And here we are.
Yeah.
And first day back in the office. And what do I see? A tweet from Brian Chesky.
Uh-huh.
If you don't know who he is, he's the co-founder or the founder, right? Is he co-founder? Founder? I don't know. Yeah. Of Airbnb. And it says, number one, it's a thread. He did a thread. Number one, starting today, I'm living on Airbnb.
Dude.
I'll be staying in a different town or city every couple of weeks. Crazy, right?
That's crazy.
Guy's a gangster. It's like almost like the Elon, right? Like I'm selling all my possessions,
all my houses, and then I'm gonna live in a, what was it? He invested in a, one of those housing things that you can like pre-made homes.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what he's doing, and it's small little 1-bedroom.
Because he's just to sleep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's got bigger things to do.
Yeah.
But this guy Brian is just like. Wow. It's like
crazy.
You're going to use your own product.
I know.
To live off of it.
Well, think about it. You've got those digital nomads, right, that are out there.
Yeah.
You've got, dude, I read something yesterday about you can actually buy, I didn't know this, you can buy suites on some cruise ships.
Yeah.
So you can actually, like, own your room.
Wait, what?
Yeah, on a cruise ship. So, like, I don't know which ones do it, like Carnival or whatever. You can buy the room, and then you can just hop on, hop off, whatever.
So you don't have to go on a 8-day cruise or whatever?
No, it's a forever, whatever. You can just stay on it for as long as it's going. And you can even put in your own furniture.
What
and, like,
the
paint
heck?
the rooms. Yeah.
Is it a program from those companies?
Yeah.
Or is like a startup doing this?
No, it's through the company.
That's interesting.
So people like will live on those boats instead of having a yacht.
Yeah. All they need is Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah, I
to
guess
work
so.
remote.
Yeah.
That's true remote right there.
That is, dude.
And then Brian said in this thread here, this week I'm in Atlanta. I'll be coming back to SF often. But for now, my home will be in an Airbnb somewhere. And I presume he's going to run the company.
Yeah.
Just like Nomad style, right? Which is just wild.
You know what's interesting about that is there's the whole story of how Airbnb started. And there was a turning point because I guess they were in... Were they in Y Combinator? They were in one of these accelerators. And one of the people they were talking to, their advisors, was like, you know, what is it like to be in an Airbnb, or what is that experience like? And they were sort of like, we don't know. Because there was that time, obviously they started it when it was in, like, I think in San Francisco, and they were like renting out air mattresses. Like that was the whole thing. Mm-hmm. But once it started rolling, they had it sort of set up, but they weren't participating. They just kind of set the platform up. And so this guy was like, you need to go and you need to become a customer and go, sort of undercover boss style, and go rent, some of these rooms or whatever it is. And so I guess they went to New York and spent some time in people's homes as a thing. And they said it just changed their entire perspective on the business.
Yeah. And I think I remember reading or seeing something about how they got close with the hosts. And they would ask for feedback, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they learned a lot.
Yeah.
Doing that.
Yeah. And they kind of realized, oh wait, there's like it's not just a convenience thing. It's a whole experience, lifestyle type thing. So it's sort of ironic because now he's kind of going back to that. He's like, hey, and now they're sort of turning that corner. It's amazing.
Totally. Did you hear about DoorDash demanding that all their employees they have to dash. They have to dash once a month.
Yes.
And they're not happy about it.
Dude, that's so smart.
Yeah.
Man.
And it's like, go do it, right? Go figure out what, the friction is
Yeah.
to improve the product,
Yeah.
and they don't want to do it.
Dude, that's so smart. Trying to think, we should think of like what other companies like should do that same thing, you know?
Yeah. Instacart.
Right?
Like I always think about, I do it often every week
Uh-huh.
for my convenience,
Right.
but I'm like, man, that sucks for whoever the guy or girl is doing it. Going to Costco for me, you know, no thank you.
Right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'd love to see something where like, so we're in the process of switching from AT&T to Verizon. I'd love to see someone go from AT&T, like go through that process.
To switch?
Yeah. Or just log into their account. Because those are some of the worst websites.
Yep. Yeah,
Especially
I mean, we were doing
having
it,
a business account. Remember that? Dude.
Just the worst.
I always kept thinking like my account got hacked because it would redirect like 4 times.
Yep.
And I'm like, there's no way I'm actually on AT&T anymore. Like I'm on on some weird, and it looks different, fonts are different.
Yep.
You're like, this is not even the same site. So I think it's good. It's a little lesson. Maybe it'll be a trend.
Maybe
you have to use your product and service. It's good.
Speaking of YC,
yes.
So they announced they are now giving $500K.
Yeah, $500,000
to each. And do we know how many they're taking in each class?
No, it's a
handful, right?
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm gonna guess it's probably close to 50 startups.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's pretty serious.
That is pretty
And I don't know
serious.
another accelerator that's doing that.
No. They're becoming kind of the one. I mean, obviously there's Techstars. That's probably out there too, but 500,000 that's a good,
man.
I mean, that's your definite seed round, you know?
Totally, yeah.
So,
And think of everything you're getting too.
Yeah.
Just being a part of the class and
that's just the thing.
The resources, like, you know. It says here since 2005 they've funded over 3,000 startups. And I'm just looking at a logo wall here and I pretty much can recognize most of them.
Yeah.
Stripe, Airbnb, DoorDash, Dropbox, Coinbase, Instacart, Gusto, Brex, GitLab. I can go on and on.
Yeah.
Webflow, Docker, Sendbird.
Really?
I don't know if I knew that. Yeah, pretty pretty big deal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Y Combinator sort of like the Ivy Leagues of of accelerators. Like once you get in there, it's sort of like, does it matter? Is your idea any good? Does it matter?
Yeah.
Does it matter? At that point, you're up there. They vetted you, and anyway, it's and the community there is really tight.
Yep.
So
it looks like they're accepting applications right now.
That's good.
For summer of 2022. So you got to submit your application by March 24th.
Okay.
You must own at least 10% equity in the startup to be considered, which I think most early stage founders have.
Should still have.
Yeah.
Better.
Wow. Well, good luck to anyone out there applying for this next class.
500. That's no joke.
No, not at all. I wonder what the equity
the
thing is.
Yeah.
Because I think they were doing like 50 or 100K or something before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the percentage, but this is $500,000.
Yeah. But does it matter at that point?
No, I don't think it does.
It's sort of like Shark Tank. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I always watch those shows and I'm like, these people are just, granted, sometimes the sharks get a little silly about it. They're like, I want 80% of the company. You're like, why would you want 80% of it? You know? But all these people will squabble over 20% versus 25 or 30%. You're like, come on. Just what? You got another offer?
Mm-hmm.
You got another deal that's that good? No.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's kind of funny. Just take it. Just take the deal.
Yep. What's going on in the world of the metaverse?
The metaverse?
The metaverse.
So the big deal was that I think, well, you saw Oculus pretty much, or Facebook sold out of these things during the holidays. There was a super shortage. And one of the big pieces is that the app, I guess the Oculus app, got to number 1 on Christmas Day. And then the theory is obviously everyone's opening up their thing.
Yeah.
Downloading.
I mean, we were doing it.
Yeah. So sort of a pretty big win for those guys. Anyway, I've been playing with it. Do you have any favorite? Have you done any games or?
Yeah, the Hot Shot.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty fun.
Yes.
Lightsaber. It's obviously a.
Did you play that
favorite.
one? Do you have that one? Yeah. That one's dope, dude.
It's fun, but I was more intrigued by, like, Horizons and that whole thing.
Yeah. Have you gone on there and like chatted with people?
No, I haven't messed with people, but just being in that room is just kind of. It's just showing you a glimpse, I think, into how people might be doing business in the future. I think the fact that those avatars are a little cartoony or makes it a little gimmicky. Yeah. But I don't know. Like you probably do it once and be like, that was fun. Yeah. But I see where it's going. Yeah. Because like it allowed us to mirror our laptops into the app. So that's already like a leap, right? So it's like, here's my workspace in this environment. Mm-hmm. And now if we bring people in, like we could have meetings in there.
That's legit.
Yeah, that's when things change a little bit.
I think, honestly, Apple is going to be the one to make that work. Like, I feel like everyone else is sort of like trying out this idea. Mm-hmm. And then Apple's going to come in and be like, here's how you do it right. Now, granted, I think there's rumors that Apple's headset's going to cost $3,000. Did you hear about that? Like their AR VR headset, $3,000. But they're going to bring it down after a while. But that's probably where it'll start. Yeah. So they're going after those high end users anyway. Yeah. But it's interesting. In fact, there was an article I read the other day that said, what was it? That Apple was actually giving like $50,000 to $100,000 bonuses to software developers because Facebook had hired like over 50 of them out from under Apple. So they're like, please stay.
Please stay.
So, but Facebook's hiring hard, dude. But honestly, they need to, because if you ever play the Oculus, I mean, remember we had the Oculus Go. Yeah. And then we have the Quest 2. And the worst apps on there are the ones from Facebook. Like even Horizons, it's sort of like what? You know? Yeah. Like, like you've got Roblox that's been around and it's already better. Like, where's that? Yeah. It's just sort of a bad ripoff of that. So kind of curious to see where it all goes, but Facebook needs to like double down. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at it, go to Horizons, play around, and then go into like the Saber. What is it called? Beat Saber. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's so much better, like the experience. So I think Facebook needs to figure out how to write apps for their own hardware. Sure.
But one of the things we were talking about earlier was, I think I just asked you, I said, they pretty much just hijacked the metaverse word.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, Meta is their name now. And then they're referencing the metaverse as if it's something that they sort of created. Right. When these worlds have existed for several years. Right. Right. So even I got confused, because I'm not super into it. But when we got our headsets, first thing I did, I thought I was going to turn that thing on and then join the metaverse. I'm like, cool. Mark Zuckerberg talked about the metaverse and Facebook, and I have the rig. Right. So get me in here. Let's go. And then I'm trying to figure it out, and I'm like, what do I do? And then that's when I started poking around. I'm like, wait. So Horizons it's an environment, like it's
another app.
It's a place you go to. Yeah. There's people where people are. Yeah. And then I started doing searches on YouTube, trying to listen to other people talk about it. And they're like, oh, Decentraland, go there. That's been around. they have their own currency and all this stuff. So then I realized, I'm like, well, Metaverse really is it's just a second world, another kind of like a second life, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, which one are you going to be at? And
Yeah.
clearly Facebook wants to own that,
Right.
and they're going to want you there. They want to own the land. They want to, make money off of you and all that stuff.
Right.
But for me, I don't want to be in that world.
No.
I want to be where the cool people are,
Right.
It's like,
Right.
is that, I don't know where that is. Like, where's Snoop Dogg? Where did he buy his house?
Yeah.
Where's all this stuff happening?
Where's the
And
hot place to be?
Yeah. And I'm not super clear on that. And I think people are still confused by the whole thing.
Totally.
But it's going to be a thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, Second Life is coming back. I mean, it exists. It's always, it never technically went away.
Never went away?
But no one went. Like, people just abandoned it. So, but I've heard that now all this interest in Metaverse is coming back. And I have to say, like, I think, I don't know, it was sort of this, I think Mark Zuckerberg kind of took this opportunity. Obviously, there was the bad press that was going around about Facebook. I think he just sort of reached a point where he's like, I want to build something new, and he sort of pivoted sort of the company in that way. But it's different in the sense, like,
and he doesn't have to go to Congress if he puts someone in charge of Facebook.
Yeah, there's a new CEO of Facebook, and he doesn't have to. Right, exactly. So, but what I'm surprised he didn't, I don't know. I would have taken more of a playbook out of like how Google did it with Alphabet, and just create a larger holding company, and sort of leave those entities as is. So like one of the things that annoys me right now is that they're gonna ditch the Oculus name, and it's just gonna be called like the Meta. Quest. Oculus,
such a cool brand, bro.
Stupid good name.
Yeah.
Like, and the branding's just so on point.
Yeah.
You're like,
it's a shame.
And now you've got this company that's the holding company producing hardware. It's confusing.
Yeah.
Like Google already kind of messes it up when it got Nest, right? Now it's called what? Google Nest? Is that what it's called now?
Yeah, I think. I still get confused.
I still don't. Yeah.
And we use all their products
Right.
for all the smart crap in here. And
Right.
It's still confusing. I still have to use Google Home app for certain things.
Yes, and the Nest app.
And then the Nest app.
Right.
For other things.
That's just dumb.
It's bad.
It's bad. I'll tell you what, though. There's a thing, and I wrote down here. There's a new standard. Speaking of smart homes, there's a new standard that Apple, Google, and Amazon are all working on.
Matter?
It's called Matter, yeah. So the thought there is that because you've got all these ecosystems sort of not working together, they want to create some standards.
Buy a gadget, plug it in, and it will work with the rest of your smart home.
Yeah.
I like the idea of all this, but are we talking between like what about people that have like, I don't know, like Alexa and stuff?
Well, I think the idea is like, let's say like the lights, for instance, like a lot of them now work on both, at least. I think Apple's HomeKit is probably the laggard in all of that. Like
I've never once considered putting it in the house or in this office.
Yeah. I literally delete the app. Like, I don't even have it on my phone.
Yeah.
Like, get it off.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. Hopefully, it seems like the right kind of step. Because I know
Apple, Amazon, Google.
Yeah. I know the war, that sort of war isn't really one that consumers are really willing to fight. So, kind of makes sense. They probably get so many complaints about things not working that they're like, we need to, just on a consumer, just to save face, we need to call this war off. Now what else here? So also too, we can talk about video games a little bit. So big news today is that Microsoft purchased Activision.
How much?
So it says $68 billion. So just to give you an idea, I think they bought LinkedIn for 20
billion.
So this is definitely.
I'd not ever imagine Activision being worth that much.
The video game industry it's almost double what the film industry is.
That's insane.
Yeah. And so part of the deal too is that I think it's a play in a couple ways. One is they want more of Activision's library.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think they want to make some of these things exclusive.
So that'll make things exclusive for Xbox.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
So instead of multi-platform stuff.
Or certain stuff will get released and then you have to wait 6 months for it, So they're gonna sort of control that. But Activision makes so many things for so many platforms. Like, it would be dumb for them to just shut it off tomorrow. But it just tells you, like, this is the equivalent of, like, Sony and Warner Brothers and stuff all, getting, coming together.
You telling me Candy
By
Crush
Disney.
is Activision?
Oh, Candy Crush is made by King, and King was acquired, by Activision.
Oh.
Dude, guess how much Candy Crush has made? Candy
If it's
Crush.
even in the billions, dude, I'm going to slap somebody.
$7 billion. $7 billion. I think that was just last year.
Oh,
$7 billion
man.
on Candy Crush. And then there's
I believe it. You know why I believe it? Because I know a lot of old people that play it.
Yeah.
And there's a homeless guy that lives on my street
Yes.
on Brea Boulevard
Uh-huh.
that we've walked past
Uh-huh.
on different occasions.
And what's he
And
doing?
the dude's got a pretty nice Android phone for
Uh-huh.
being a homeless guy,
Right?
and he plays Candy Crush. So it's a pretty wide spectrum of the homeless guy and your
Yeah.
grandma
Yes.
playing it.
Yes.
But I imagine if it's that popular, a lot of people play it.
Yeah. People put money in. Remember that whole thing when we were really getting into apps and games and stuff? How there's these whales that'll spend
Jeez.
hundreds, thousands of dollars on these apps and these games, just playing them.
That's insane.
It's insane. But there's enough of them too that they just keep dumping money in, and I don't know, it's crazy. What was it? I remember Fortnite. How much did Fortnite was in the billions its first year?
Wow.
And there was a whole thing. I remember we talked a bit about it because it's a free game.
Mm-hmm.
Remember we talked about this? Like, this was back in TAP, I think, was kind of coming out, and it was it was sort of revolutionary at the time that this free game that cost nothing to play had gained, I think, like earned like $10 billion or something ridiculous, out of nowhere. So anyway,
Well,
cool
we've
stuff.
got Stadia
Open
literally right.
Yeah, we were
What were
playing
you playing?
Stadia.
Little Nightmares.
Nightmares too. Yeah.
Little
Nightmares.
And we're fans of Stadia. We've talked about this before. We think the future of computing is actually going to be sort of Stadia-esque,
Yes.
where you won't
Streaming.
need. Yeah, you're going to stream your desktop and video editing and all that stuff.
Yes.
We've said this before.
Yes.
But this article says Google does not want to kill Stadia, just Stadia as we know it.
Yeah.
So what the hell are they doing?
Well-
is it not? I don't think it's been adopted
No.
widely, and that's part of the problem.
Right.
But it's freaking cool.
It's cool. It's ahead of its time in a lot of ways. But I think the issue is that it's not bringing in the money.
Yeah.
And so, but there's a whole thing too. Like, it's one thing for Google to cancel something, some product on this, like Google Plus or something, like something that really doesn't have a whole lot of investment by people. But Stadia, people put money in, and they've gotten a lot of buy-in from other companies. So they can't just shut this down without losing some major face. So the theory is that they're going to start licensing their platform.
Mm-hmm.
So that, and I don't know exactly how it would work, but I think they're testing it out with, I think there's a thing with like AT&T or something like that they're testing it out to see if they can find a way to put sort of like exclusive games or something on it. And my guess is they're going to use the idea, and it might be something where they're like, hey, we've got all these computers, they can stream 4K at 30 or 60 frames a second. Like, why not put a PC on it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it only makes sense. Like if, you know, and then at that point, imagine $10 a month for a PC, $180 or $120 a year to have, you know, as fast of computer as you need, you know.
Yeah, I mean, how many people are really using their computers offline these days?
Oh, exactly.
Right? It's almost non-existent anymore.
No. Well, and then I think Apple sort of like, I mean, we both have basically the same machine. Yeah. This is almost 10 years old, dude. This was made in late 2013.
You're right.
My laptop's 9 years old. Apple made a really good product that just doesn't die.
Yeah.
But the only reason that this is even legit anymore is because Intel just couldn't make fast enough processors. And so it plateaued.
Yeah.
For 6-7 years until finally Apple's like, screw this. We're going to go develop our own silicone. And
now you got the M1.
And then it went to M1 and stuff.
Yeah.
So now my thing is just like your iPhone, when you're like, all right, you know, you got the 13 or it's going to be like, well, I've got an M1 and you're going to have an M4 and then next year there's going to be an M5 and these are going to get a lot more obsolete a lot faster. And then I think people are going to get sick and tired of it and be like, why can't I just put this processor in the cloud?
That's going to be it right there.
And just give me a basic thing that's a terminal that doesn't have to do the hard processing, or a bit of a hybrid, right? Some stuff can handle here, but in most cases, it's just going to stream it and be done with it.
Yeah.
Know? So tell me a little bit more about what Gary V's up to with his...
So these burnable tokens, you will redeem 1, 2, or 3, or however many you have. Some people spent thousands of dollars on books.
That's one way to be like on the New York Times bestseller list. It's like
right. This guy's a genius.
It's like Willy Wonka.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Totally.
Buying the chocolate bars.
Yeah, this guy just gets behavior, right? Human behavior.
Yeah, he hacks it bad.
Big time. So now, and people were doing the math and arguing with each other, obviously. Plus, he's got a Discord of like thousands of people
I
going.
bet. Yeah.
I try to jump in and I can't keep up. It's like the chat is just nonstop.
Wow.
So then the math would be like, okay, I just spent, I don't know, $1,000 on books, but then one NFT could be worth 2 ETH or whatever.
Tens of thousands.
It doesn't matter. It's like you already won. You know, now you have books that you can resell if you wanted.
That's it.
Also.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is smart because he knows that, right?
Yeah.
And he plays that game. Remember his shoe and everything?
Oh, yeah.
He's like, just buy all of them and then resell them.
That's
like
it.
he was all down with that.
Yep.
Smart.
So then when I jumped in, I could only buy the ones people were selling the ones that were already redeemed.
Oh.
So there was people that didn't even want to cash them in. That literally, like, let's say you had 36 books and you got 3 tokens or whatever. You could put them for sale and somebody could buy them off of you. And then now, because they were all different. So one could be worth more than the other and whatnot. So people were buying them. But I'm talking, dude, I would have been out like hundreds of dollars in ETH just trying to get the burnable tokens to see what that would even get me in the marketplace.
Gosh.
Right? So it's just all overwhelming. I'm trying to figure out if I should even jump in or whatever. And then I realized that I was just going to watch it. So then, people were posting, just scored, this NFT from VFriends that's now, worth whatever. And now I can go to the conference, VCon or whatever. Oh, wow. It gives me access to that because I just redeemed it with my 2 or 3 burnable tokens. And burnable meaning one in the wallet, like they burn. Once you redeem them, they're gone.
Right.
So they're not transferable, but they unlock another token that you now own. And anyways, this whole thing is just,
dude,
it's just mind blowing, and it's just like just trying to keep up.
It's like the world became, in video games, the DLC, the downloadable content. Yeah. It's like that. That's what we're dealing with now. Like in the real world is like, go buy stuff.
And in
so
that
you
world
can
is
unlock other things.
like packs and
and
like Minecraft, right?
Yeah.
Roblox. Mm-hmm. I mean, you see those gift cards at anywhere, right? You're like, who buys these things?
Right.
Well, a lot of people do because their kids.
Yeah.
That's what they want. You know,
Yeah.
they want to buy stuff.
It's like buying a
these
gift
worlds.
card. But dude, Willy Wonka style though, bro.
Yeah.
That's
who gets the golden ticket.
Who gets the golden ticket, right?
That's it right there. Man, what a hack.
What a freaking hack. And what's really interesting about Gary is and people like to hate on that guy.
Yeah.
He's kind of divisive. But let me say this. Watching him pivot into this crypto space, I'm like, because before when you introduced me to Gary, like he had already kind of gone social. He's like Snapchat, all this stuff. Like he was full on in that world. He's like, you got to do this stuff, get attention. That's your currency. That's how you break through. But watching him now pivot to this crypto thing, I'm like, that's Gary's thing.
Yes.
He's just ahead.
Yes.
He's just like that. He's right at the front of that line.
And he's divisive because he's saying this is like the internet all over again.
Right.
When he built the wine business.
Right.
Online when nobody was doing it.
Well, when he got into social. And he's like, everyone needs to be on this.
Yeah.
And, this is this
the
great
NFT
equalizer.
Specifically. Because he understood what that was.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or he's 4 C's, right?
Right.
And that's really it. Because his drawings suck. Like, this just
that's not the point.
Has nothing to do with the art.
No, it has nothing to do with that. But it's the fact that he knows, he's like, I don't call him a trendsetter, but he's like a trend spotter, right? He knows what's coming. And I think that's his like secret weapon or superpower.
Yeah.
It wasn't social.
No.
It was just that social at the time was the where that power was or that interest was. 100%. So it's really interesting that he's kind of evolved into this thing, and he's gonna make a lot more money doing this.
Well, I'll tell you what, he made
agency.
$90 million.
Yeah, he's not pulling that
in
on
less
his
than
salary
a year.
at VaynerMedia.
He made $90 million, and he didn't know what an NFT was a year ago. Isn't that wild?
Genius.
Yeah.
Love that.
We had to go. I was like, how can we get through one of these without bringing Gary V up? No, we can't. So, anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is a new thing we're trying out. We're gonna do it weekly. Little founders chat.
Yeah,
we'll bring you some news and trends and things that are happening in the industry.
Yeah, stuff that normally Charlie and I talk about anyway.
Yeah, we just thought we'd put a little format to it. And hopefully it's valuable to some of you. Don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube. Get us to 100.
Yeah, we want a nice 100.
Get some subs in here. Yeah. So help us out.
Yeah, help us out on TikTok too. We want to get to 1,000.
Yeah, we got a TikTok, Sightbox.
Yeah, we want to get to 1,000 so we can go live and
there you go.
Really annoy people.
There you go. Catch you next week.
Thanks everyone.